Multi-million-dollar homes burning right now in California. Tonight, a new enemy for firefighters: exhaustion.
The chaos from a shooting near a Western Washington school boils down to an argument in the cafeteria.
But my God, $450?
She's facing a big fine for how she parked at a Spokane Costco.
Her hard lesson learned that could save you $450. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jane McCarthy.
And I'm Mark Hanrahan. A quick trip to the store turned sour for one Spokane County woman.
Yeah, she got a whopping $450 parking ticket for something you might not realize could earn you a fine. While she says she can pay that fine, she worries other people with disabilities may not be so fortunate.
What do? Don't eat for the month? Don't get their medication for the month? What do?
So she was cited for blocking an aisle designated for wheelchairs, but she says she really had no choice. KREM 2's Alexa Block explains why her situation is one all drivers can learn from.
It's something that happens. We pull into a parking spot and we park over the line. Well, one woman found out that if you park over the line in a handicap spot, it could really cost you.
I received it on the 19th.
Terry Pato doesn't get many parking tickets, and she's never gotten one this big.
Never, ever have I heard of that.
Back in October, she made her weekly run to Costco on North Division. When she came outside, she had a ticket on her car. She was parked in a handicap spot, but she's got a permit. Pato didn't understand why she was ticketed.
And kind of gulped and looked around at everybody else that had tickets on their windows.
This is a picture she took that day. You can see Pato's white Chevy here parked over the line of the handicap walkway. Other cars parked the same way. She says she pulled forward so the back of her car wouldn't stick out into the aisle like it's doing here.
I never knew anything about parking forward was going to get me in trouble.
But she did get in trouble. In fact, she was slapped with a $450 fine. Her ticket was for blocking the handicap aisle. The basic penalty for a disabled parking violation is $250, and blocking an access aisle is $200 on top of that.
My God, $450?
The municipal code says you can get a ticket for parking in, blocking, or otherwise keeping handicapped people from using that area. An area that can be on the side of your car or, as Pato realized, in front of it.
I look at all the other people that are just as ignorant, quote, about the law as I was, that are going to be getting tickets that can't afford these tickets.
Pato went to court and got her ticket knocked down to $300. But her concern is really for the people who can't afford fines that high, those who are handicapped and could be on fixed incomes.
That person gets that $450 ticket. What do? Don't eat for the month? Don't get their medication for the month? What do?
And that's why Pato hopes her story will be a reminder to people to mind where and how they park. In Spokane, Alexa Block, KREM 2 News.
I had no idea.
Yeah, exactly. It's marked differently than the side ones. You can see why it's important that they're clear, but obviously a lot of people don't understand that you're not supposed to park that way because they were all parked that way.
Yeah, I didn't even know it until today, so I just saw that.
Yeah, we thank her for sharing her story. In other news tonight, two 17-year-olds are under arrest after two students were shot outside a high school in Graham, Washington.
We're not identifying them because they have not been charged. The Graham-Kapowson students who were shot are recovering tonight. Court documents show the shooting may have been prompted by a fight in the school's cafeteria on Monday. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office says after that initial fight, another fight was prearranged for yesterday afternoon. Before that could happen, though, someone fired multiple shots from a car, hitting the two students. The sheriff says one of the victims was likely a bystander with no knowledge of the fight. Again, both students are recovering tonight. Police say they are still searching for another suspect. They say he's the one who likely pulled the trigger. Well, this is just one of hundreds of images showing the devastating fires in Southern California. At least 200 homes have already been burned in Ventura County, with thousands more threatened. Firefighters were already struggling to get a handle on that fire because of the strong winds and low humidity. And now another fire started, causing even more problems.
Crews are attacking the fires from the ground and from the air.
Amazing how far this fire has gone and how much damage it's done. It's unbelievable.
Many of the homes are on winding, steep hills where flames can spread quickly from house to house. The fires, along with poor air quality, have forced several roads and school districts to shut down. Cameras are capturing images of the thick smoke all the way from space now. A NASA satellite over Southern California captured this image yesterday.
Safe to say, hoping the wind dies down to help out those firefighters down south.
Yeah.
Well, here at home, it's just plain cold.
Yeah, it's very brisk, we'll call it. Tom Sherry in the Weather Center tonight, tracking more freezing temperatures, right, Tom?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the freezing temperatures as well as that air stagnation advisory, but we turn our attention once again down south where you were talking about those Santa Ana winds. And if we get a look at this, I'll show you what we're talking about. Looks like the forecast for the winds is going to be less intense than what we saw yesterday when we had hurricane strength winds. Right now, we think the winds there tomorrow will only be around 30 miles per hour. But again, that's still stronger than what they would like to see. And again, it's all that wind blowing from the deserts of the southwest towards the west, and then they warm as they go down that mountain range that separates California from Arizona. So that air stagnation advisory, you got it going at least until Thursday at noontime. All the areas shaded in black. The air quality later this week could deteriorate anywhere from moderate to unhealthy. Spokane does not yet have an air stagnation advisory, but again, we don't see any weather systems headed our way. We'll look for clear skies tonight with fog forming in the overnight hours. Some of that fog will freeze to the roadways. It gets cold, dropping down into the low 20s. If you get a chance to look at that big, beautiful moon, do it. 21 the expected overnight low. We hope to get some clearing midday into the afternoon. We'll look for a high of about 34. Temperatures only are just below freezing for the weekend. It looks like we'll see more fog and low clouds, possible sun breaks. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but no rain or snow on the way. I'll have a look at your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Sounds good, Tom. Thank you very much. Well, it's been nearly 3 months since the shooting at Freeman High School. 1 student was killed, 3 others were hurt.
During this tragedy, we saw something really powerful. This community standing strong together during a terrible time. The Freeman School Superintendent tells me the way to show continued support is simple but powerful. What can the community do now to continue supporting you?
You know, I think just checking in on us, sometimes it's a smile, sometimes it's a hug, and in Freeman, I think I've mentioned before, we just kind of hug it out. We're a hugging group, and I think that just being able to check in, say, hey, what do you need? How can we help? And sometimes it's just, I need to hear your voice, or I just want to spend 5 minutes with you. Or a lot of times when our students representing Freeman go to another school district, not that there's anything special, but just that, just that respect that happens when you're involved in activities or athletics. I think those little things like that, we have certainly not been forgotten during the course of the last 12 weeks. We've got a lot of people checking in on us, and it's just amazing how powerful that is, for you as an individual, when you've got people just checking in and saying, hey, what do you need? What can I do to help you? Well, just take 10 minutes and just talk to me, just hang out with me.
Anyone can do that.
Yeah, anybody can do that, and it's free.
Good advice. We'll bring you the bulk of our lengthy, sometimes emotional conversation tonight on KREM 2 News at 6 o'clock.
Well, we can't help but show off this view of our city. Spokane looking mighty fine tonight.
Lovely. It's gone through quite a bit of transformation to get where it is today. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley shares a look at Spokane's milestone changes over the years.
The ice ribbon at Riverfront Park is the newest attraction to the city of Spokane, but over the years, the city has seen quite a bit of transformations, one of which includes the old Macy's building.
It brings so much change and so much positive change to downtown Spokane. It's a great location, and with the Nike store going in, that's going to be a big draw for people.
Kate Hudson with Visit Spokane says back in 2010, Kendall Yards was just a vacant rail yard. But over the last 7 years, it's gone through a major transformation.
You've got people living in apartments, you've got people living in private homes, you've got people in condos, and it has changed the entire north bank of the Spokane River.
And in 2002, the historic Davenport Hotel just barely escaped demolition and becoming a parking lot. Hudson says Spokane has the Worthy family to thank, as the hotel has become an iconic and must-see building for all who visit the Lilac City.
The saving of the Davenport really sparked I don't know if renaissance is the right word, but it was definitely a renaissance in downtown Spokane of saving all of our buildings and making it more beautiful.
Of course, Spokane continued to make its mark with the opening of the Davenport Grand Hotel.
It's an easier sell to get people here for conferences and to explore Spokane. And once people get here, they always say the same thing. We had no idea that Spokane was such an amazingly beautiful city.
And we can't forget River Park Square. It opened in the 70s, but became another transformation milestone for the city when it was redeveloped in 1999. One could argue the city's incremental transformation started with Expo 74. The U.S. Pavilion remains standing and will even see its own transformation as well.
It has been an amazing transformation.
Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.